Okay, hello and welcome to What the Hey. I think this is like my 4th episode of Machinarium. This one may be a little crazy because the next, I guess, 3 segments or levels that I'm going to show you have a lot of parts to them. So I'm going to try and get through everything, you know, like as quick as I can and as easy as I can. Some of the puzzles in this one kind of rack my brain, you know, but I'm going to show you kind of one of the first things we kind of have to do. So these are like 3 musicians essentially, and they're all kind of having trouble with their instruments. This dude lost his because these guys are big meanies, so we have to get him like kind of like a replacement drum essentially. He kind of looks like a frog. I think it's cute. This next one is a saxophone, and I kind of have to give him like 5 little pegs, yeah. So I kind of have to help with that. And this last one, there's kind of like a creature inside the little flute of sorts, so I have to get that out. So what I'm going to do next is kind of show you the next 2 levels kind of that I'll be going through in this episode. And I'll try and like not do a bunch, just kind of get to my limit. This is for later. This will be a thing that I use, but not until later. This is another one of the segments. This is a place with a lot of different puzzles. And then the third one that I'll probably go to is up here. But to start off, I'm not gonna do this one. I'm gonna go back down and kind of start just collecting stuff. Like a lot of the stuff you have to do for the puzzles in this one is just like collecting stuff. So one of the things I have to collect is kind of this lever for this clock, which I'll show how to do that. Put the lever in here, but I'll do that puzzle later. And then another one that I have to do is get kind of this oil can for this old dude. So I have to go get some oil, which I know where that is. I don't know what any of this has to do, but like you can break those glass bulbs. I'm not exactly sure why, but like there's this one too. So to start off, I'll do one of the main puzzles, which is getting the drum for one of the musicians. So to get the drum, what I have to do is kind of go in this bar section essentially, and we can kind of get a sneak peek and see like the Black Cap Brotherhood gang just like chilling playing cards, and that'll be kind of a key part later. So I can get this. It's like sticky kind of tape, I guess. I could have gone down, but oh well. So what I need to do is I have to get this like drum or whatever of oil, because it's going to essentially act as the drum, but he won't let me take it, but I will distract him. And to do that, what you basically have to do is you take out the tape that you got and get some flies on it, which is kind of weird, but it works. So what I do is I go in here, I show the bartender my little flies, and I'm like, bro, this is my show and tell, here you go. And I can take this drum and take it out, and then give it to the drummer, kind of frog looking dude, and he gets to play on it in a few seconds. And like the music when you get all of their, oh yeah, hello lady, the music when you get all of the instruments is pretty nice. So we have 1 of 3 done, and the next one, in order to get the little pegs, I have to beat a robot in here at checkers. This dude, from what I remember when I played the game the first time, this kind of wrecked my brain, but you just kind of have to have a strategy, kind of, not really. And you have to make sure he doesn't get any, oh darn it. Could I? Oh darn it. So I could do it either, ooh. So, cause I'm trying to get, ooh, he's gonna put one there, yep, okay. Could do one here. Darn it, okay. Let's see, is he gonna get 5 somewhere? Doing that, 3 either way there, 3 here. Let me do 3 here, okay, and then 3 here. I can't get 5, so let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I can't get 5 that way. Ugh. I could do. Need to make sure he doesn't get it somewhere, cause I could try either way, I guess. Ah, darn it! I should have gone for it. Well, he would have gotten it anyways. Darn it! I can't do it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. 1, 2, 3. Ah. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. See, this puzzle is super hard because it shows you that computers aren't stupid. Oh man. Oh, he won. Finally, after losing like a bajillion times. Get wrecked, bro. Get heckin' wrecked. Okay, so finally, whenever you beat that dude, because he is a bit hard, so you know, if you're small brain like me, that may take you more than a couple of tries. So basically all you have to do is collect these little pegs, and there's 5 of them. So if you kind of have trouble finding them, that's okay. They're just kind of put around the little building. So now what you can do is you can give them to this dude. So now you have another musician done. And what he'll do is he'll kind of start playing his instrument, and then the lady will come out and throw another pot at you because, you know, the music is clearly too controversial. And then you can get this little leaf. I can't honestly remember what that has to do with like anything, but clearly it's for like something later. And then while you're down here, what you can do is you can get the oil. So once you set the oil can down, you'll have it full after a few seconds, and then you can go back out and return it, because for right now we're kind of done in this area. We'll come back to get the radio up there, but for right now we're kind of done. So now what we can do is go give the oil can to this dude in the wheelchair, so we can kind of get down to another level. So I guess there's technically kind of like 4 segments in this area. So whenever he's done wheeling over, and he gives me his can again, so this dude's just having me go on errands for some reason. But now we can go to this area down here. Which this segment's kind of fun. I love kind of just the character of this level, and I like that character specifically. He's really funny looking. But basically when you talk to him, he's saying he'll help you move this thing, which kind of controls where the water's at. And he said in order for him to help you, you have to return kind of like a music kind of system, because they stole his gramophone, unfortunately. Which that's why the radio comes into play, so we'll be able to get that at some point. So in order for him to help us, we gotta get him a music box. And then there's also kind of this little puzzle right here, which he says it'll work depending on like the keys, because there's 1 here, but we need 3, so we have to get 2 more, which I'm pretty sure I know where those are. There's also this little like hanger right here that we'll need, so you gotta get that. So we need 2 extra, and it kind of shows you how the water's flowing. And then the second, I believe the second little key is in this little book. Just get the book out, I think, because this is just kind of diagrams, but if you go to the back of the book, yep, there's one of them. And then the other one, which before we get to it, I'll show you, you can kind of see the Black Cat Brotherhood gang are down here, and we're going to kind of ruin their day in a little bit. But before that, we can go and look in here and use this little hook we have to get the 3rd key. And honestly, I don't exactly remember how this puzzle works. Like, I've played the game before, but this one, I have no idea what these do. So I'm just gonna randomly put them in here for right now. But now we can go to the next section, or I'll just start on kind of this section up above. So this next section is gonna deal with this little clock and this little lever. I'll talk to her first. It's kind of funny because she's got like the symbol that she just showed in her little dream kind of thing. But basically these papers, and it's kind of hard to tell like what this even means. Like half these puzzles I'm like, what do these even mean? But I think this is day and this is night because this is a moon. But what we have to do is, I think we get it to that little sign first and match it with, what is that, 7? So I basically spin the wheel to get the clock moving to match the symbol, and then I go and match the time. So I have to get it to this little kind of wormy looking thing, and then I have to get it to 7 o'clock. So now she goes in, I guess this church kind of thing. I don't even know what like kind of thing robots worship, but anyways, so she's in there. And then there's also this little paper. Don't really know what that has to do with anything, but I think I do also have to get it in there. So what I can do is get it to where it goes to that little thing, I guess. So I guess I have to turn it a lot. Oh, well, she's back out. Okay. So what I can do now is I can turn the clock to the little teardrop kind of thing that was on the paper behind her. And I think it moves the guy on the top right, so I just have some turning to do. So I think if I get it to 6, he'll come down, I think? Yes. Okay. Look at him go. I like his little hairstyle. So now he goes into this church of sorts. And what I have to do once he goes in is I go into his little building. I kind of like the chimes, they're pretty. And I go get this little kind of megaphone looking thing. And now I can just turn it, I think once, and he'll come back out. Yep. So now that he's out, once he goes back up, I'm gonna go to the upper section. Now this is an entirely different section, and I just kind of, the main puzzle is right here, but I'm gonna see if I can pull that. I cannot, because apparently lightning, huzzah. So what I do first is I go here, and there's a little puzzle piece, and I click it, and it falls out. And then this bird, for some reason, wants to ruin my day, so it goes and grabs it. So now he has the puzzle piece, but what I need to do is walk, and for some reason, I'm glad I remember this because it's kind of confusing otherwise. The bird basically follows you, and in order to get the piece back, you have to make it dizzy by doing that, by making it fall off the little wire. Kind of knocks its head. Funny. You got the little piece again, and then what you'll also want to do is you take this little wire and you tie it, and then what I can do first is kind of organize this puzzle. So the arrows kind of direct where this kind of needs to line up. So this piece right here, from what I remember, has to go up there, and this has to go down here. But I kind of just have to maneuver them in a way that gets them there. So that gets that there. That can go here. That's not correct. Let's go down here. This I think is correct. That's correct. So I can move this. That goes there. That goes up. This somehow, this has to, hold up. I have to think about things, which is not what I usually do. Here. And this has to go there. So that there, this here. And then I think what I can do is I put that there. Yeah, okay. So that's good. So what I can do, I think, is I go up here, I tug on this little dude. I think what I can do is touch that, so that's disconnected. and he kind of freaks out. So then I touch this wire, and that's pulled, so that's tangled. And he's kind of like, dang it, now I gotta move over. So next what I do, I think, is I go up here, go up this little tower, man, and I make this cat move. I'll explain kind of what the cat does, but it falls onto like the little bridge because it's like electrocuted, so it's just chilling there. I can go down, and then I have to turn this off because if I try to grab it while it's electrocuted, I'll get electrocuted too, from what I remember. So I can just kind of put that there. And then I grab the cat. So when you have the cat, you basically put it in this kind of like they're called didgeridoos or something, right? And the little animal comes out, so now it can finally blow into its instrument, and they can all make noise, which is fun. And because of the noise, the lady comes out again, throws her radio, which, you know, Yahoo, and that's messed up. So what I can do now, while they're playing their music, is get this radio. That part's messed up, but I have something to replace it, so I put kind of that megaphone thing from earlier into the radio, and while they're jamming, I can go back up. So what I do now is I go into kind of the sewer area, like I'm just going into a lot of sewers for some reason in this game. But what I do is I go to this dude and I'm like, hey, I got you a radio, which is fun. I like how this little Jeremy dude, or no, his name is Joseph. I like how Joseph kind of fixes a lot of people's problems. It's very nice. So now kind of this wrench dude can kind of jam out, and I'm like, yo, you promised that you'd help me. So what he can do is he can go over there and kind of unscrew it, which I'll show you what happens when that occurs. So now the room's just kind of flooding. It's not going to go all the way up, thankfully, because that would be bad. But basically, like I said earlier, we kind of ruined their day, so that's that, which is super fun. I think I can show you what it, yeah, they're just kind of floating around, which is fun. But I think the next main puzzle is this thing, but unfortunately, I really don't know how to do this. Like, it's been a heckin' minute since I've done this. Like, I really don't get what this is. So I think this is a good place to stop, because I think everything else that I have is kind of in a different area. So for the time being, I think that is a good stopping point. I think I actually went through everything a lot faster than I thought I would. So this is kind of a good episode just to get a lot of stuff done and out of the way. So thank you very much for watching. Bye!